Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Mia of Mia's Apparel. If this is the first time of seeing my video, kindly subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment and share. Today we'll be talking about how to cut and sew a straight skirt with back vent or back pleats, either way. So we'll be working with skirt length 45 inches. So now I want to input my hip measurement. I've already folded my fabric into two. So from my waistline to my hip line is 8 inches, but I want this skirt to have a band. So I'll subtract 2 inches from my hip line, which will give me 6 inches. So I came in with by 6.5 because that 0.5 will be used to join to the band. So I measured my upper hip, lower hip and knee line. From my waistline to my knee line is 18 inches. So now I will come in with all my calculation. My waist circumference divided by 2 plus divided by 4 plus 2, my hip circumference divided by 4 plus 2. So I'll join it like that. I input same measurements on my upper hip and my lower hip. So for my knee measurements, I'll subtract my hip calculation minus 1. Reason is for you to have a very snatchy effect on your knee so that your skirt won't just be just straight and looking all this baggy. So I'll go in by 1 inch. Adding be it is stretchy material, a very stretchy material, I'll go in by 1.5. So that knee measurement, I will take it down to my skirt length. So for my front dart, I'll use my nip to nip measurement, which is 7 inches. 7 divided by 2 will give me 3.5. So I input that and notch it. So I'll transfer the calculation to my lining. I said we are working with skirt length 42. Sorry, I said 45, but we are working with skirt length 42. But I used 45 for the main fabric, and that 42 will be marked on the lining. You get? I used 45 for the main fabric and the lining will be 42 inches. We are working with skirt length 42. The reason for that, you will know it as we embark into the video, but make sure that your lining is your accurate skirt length and your fabric is like 2 inches or 3 inches more than your measurement. So this is the reason. When you sew your hem line, you can see this is 42.5. The 0.5 is for the hip, for the waist, for me to join the skirt to the band, like I said earlier, and this is 45. So this is the reason for you to be able to pipe it in so that your lining won't be showing inside when you finish. So I will notch that for the lining too. Then I'll proceed to cut the back. I'll use the front piece to cut the back. So for the back, you'll be needing extra 10 inches, extra 20 inches. Unfold will be 10 inches plus your zip allowance 1 inch, then your normal calculation. So that means you'll be needing like extra 11 inches plus the calculation you used for the front part. So I'll be placing the front on the fabric now. I'll place it very well on the edge. I'll place it, make sure you place it like I'm placing it. The back fabric should be unfold like you are seeing it here, and you place the front on the back. You can see this is the folded part. So you come in by your 10 inch. You can see that we have 11 inches. That's because we are going to use zip allowance for the upper part. So this is me chalking out my zip allowance 1 inch, and I make sure I chalk it to the down part. So I'll be transferring all my vertical line, my hip lines and my knee line to the back fabric. So that's it, my upper hip, lower hip and my knee line. So this is it now. On the hip line, on the upper hip, I'll go up by 1 inch, and on the lower hip I'll go down by 1 inch. So from my waistline, I will go in by 0.25 or 0.5, but for this skirt I'm going in by 0.5. The reason is that your back is somehow tinier than your tummy. I don't know how to put this English, but your back always go in than your tummy. So 0.5, I actually came in by 0.5, then I slant it down to the 1 inch I brought up on my upper hip, then 0.5 from my skirt length down to the 1 inch I chalked down from my lower hip. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Then I'll chalk out my knee line. So let me show you what I explained there. This is my upper hip, 1 inch up, lower hip. This is the difference between my upper hip and lower hip is like 4 inches. Yes, I use from my waistline to my upper hip is 6 inches, and from my waistline to my lower hip is 10 inches. That will make sure that will be enable you to enable the skirt to accommodate your butt very well. So this is it. You go in by 0.5 on your this calculation is either 0.25 or 0.5. It depends on how tiny your back waist is, or how your back is how your back enter. You know, some people have this kind of back that their middle back is like a little bit entering their body. It's not like it's very straight. So it depends on how it is, but I love using 0.5. So this is my knee line, and I made sure I chalked it out to the back fabric, and that's the 10 inches. So I'll cut from this knee line up to the waist, up to my waist. So let me cut. This is me cutting. You can see how I cut it. You can see this effect already on the butt part. You can see that effect already. So I'll remove the front fabric, then I'll use the back fabric to cut the back line. You can see this butt, you can see how it is. That's where it will accommodate your butt. So the fact that you came in by 0.5 on the waist doesn't mean you will use 0.5 to hold your zip. You will still use your 1 inch to hold your zip. When I was cutting, I didn't cut directly on the chalk because I'll be using that little space. I think it's around 0.25 to turn my lining. So for my back dart, I used my calculated waist minus 1 divided by 2. My calculated waist was 9. 9 minus 1, that's 8, divided by 2, that's 4. So I've already used the fabric to cut the lining. Please ignore my lining. My lining was not enough, so I had to just do joining for it. So this is it. I've already cut it. So for me to pick my darts, I love picking darts on lining and fabric separately. I'll show you that later. So to turn your back, you first of all join your hem part. After joining that's the first place for you to join. After picking your dart, join it, then you use the rest to turn it over. So let me show you. This is why I said your fabric should be more than your lining. Look at how it is already. Look at how it is. The lining is not reaching the down part. So this is the dart. You can see I picked the dart separately. I picked the dart on fabric separately and on lining separately. So let me turn it out for you to see how it's going to be. The reason for turning the dart separately is for me to achieve a very neat inner part for my skirt. So I'll go ahead and iron it now. You can see how that area is looking neat. I'll go ahead and iron it, then I'll bring it back to show us what next to do. So this is the front part too. I've picked the dart. You can see I picked it separately as well. Picked the dart on the fabric separately and on the lining separately. This is the turning part for you to see how it will look like. So that Ankara, that fabric showing at the end part is the excess I put on the fabric. Remember, we used 45 inches and 42 inches for the lining and 45 for the fabric. So this is me after ironing the back part. I already sew the zip, 1 inch zip allowance down, straight down. I'm going to show you what to do next, but make sure you sew it straight down to your skirt length. Make sure you follow your 1 inch allowance straight down to your skirt length. So now let's start the work of the day. So after ironing, make sure you iron very well this middle part to form a crease line. Then open your skirt like this. I supposed to iron this zip allowance on the upper part. I made a mistake, but I'll do that later. Let's continue. So you make sure you, this is the reason I said I supposed to iron it, so that it will lay flat. So after getting your crease line for the middle part of the fabric, make sure you place that your crease line on the middle of your skirt, the middle of the zip allowance that you've already sewed down. Then you pin it down, pin it on the upper part and pin it on the lower part, so that it won't be shifting when you are doing whatever you want to do. So after that, iron this side and iron that side too to form a crease line. I've ironed it. So after ironing, bring this crease line that I'm touching, bring it closer, like beside the first crease line that you have pinned down. You can see, bring it and pin it beside. Let me move my camera closer. You are going to pin it down close, very, very close, like very, very close, but make sure you are not pinning it on top of it. Make sure you pin it very close to the first one you have pinned already, the middle one you first of all pinned. So pin it very close down like this. You can see what I'm doing. Pin it very close. See, this is how you are going to form it. Make sure you fold in the crease line to the down part and fold it very well like this. You can see how I'm doing. Just follow the procedure in this video, then you are going to get it right. Fold it like this. Then you do this for the other side too. Do this for the other side too. Make sure you follow the crease line. Fold it and fold this fold into two equal parts using the crease line, making sure the crease line is touching the first crease line you pin down. You can see, pin it like that, fold it like that. I've not pinned it. Fold it like that. Make sure you pin it beside the crease line. But for me, so this is what we are going to do. After we iron this, we will still fold again because we need like four pleats on each side. So I'm going to pin it now. This is me pinning it down. Just pin it like this because you are going to remove that pin later. So pin it like this and pin the down part too. I've went ahead and iron it. Then I'm going to I'm removing the pin now, because if I don't remove the pin, it will hinder me from folding the next pleat. So I'm going to refold. I've ironed to form a crease line. As you can see, the crease line already. Then I'm folding again like this. So this is the crucial part. Make sure you are folding gently and you're concentrating on what you are doing, because this part, I won't be pinning it immediately. I won't be pinning the fabric immediately. You can see I wanted to pin, then I remember that I have to fold the one at the down part too before using one pin to pin it down. This actually wasted a lot of my pin, but then we gotta do what we gotta do. So make sure you fold it equally. You can do the upper part first so that it will be easy for you. You can see how I'm folding it. Make sure you fold it equally, then pin it down. Then pin it down. So you follow this fold and do it for the down part too. You can see I'm already following the crease line. Make sure the crease line is beside, make sure that all the crease line you are forming, make sure they are touching the first one you pinned down, the middle one that you pin on the middle of the skirt. Make sure everything is touching that crease line. They are beside it, not on it, not on top of it, beside it, but they are touching that crease line. All your crease lines will be touching the crease line. So we are done with this part. This is me pinning it down on the down part as well. I will tell you reason why I'm the reason why I'm pinning it down on the down part too is for the pleat to stay in one place. So what I did for the first part, I'll do it for the second side too. I've ironed it. I'll remove the pin, the first pin I use, not the one for the middle, but the one I used to hold these two. So I'm going to turn these two into four. Let me unfold it. So that I'll re-show you again if you didn't get what I did for the first part. So I remove the pin. After removing the pin, you can see we have two pleats already. So we are going to turn it into four, like we have on this side. We are going to turn it into four. So this is it. I've ironed it and I've formed a crease line. Then I'll place that crease line directly beside the first crease line that I pinned to the middle of the skirt. So I'm going to pin it like this, hold it with one hand or maybe like two fingers. Then I'll fold the one at the down part too. Then after folding equally like so, like you are seeing on the screen, after folding equally, then I'll pin it down. So I'll follow this and fold the down part too. I'll fold the down part following the crease line. You can see I'm following the crease line here. So I'll make sure I fold it in very well, equally. So this is me folding. That's why I said this part is a crucial part. You have to be patient to get this part right. So this is me folding it, then I'll pin it at the down part too. So I'll pin it down now. I'll pin it down. I'll pin it down. So if this is the first time of seeing my coming across my channel, kindly subscribe to my page channel, like my videos, comment and share my videos to your loved ones. So this is it after folding the both sides. I'll refold very well. I didn't pin the middle part, so I'll make sure I refold very well before ironing it. So I will make sure I iron very, very well and then I'll iron this part that I didn't iron in the first place. So this is it. I've ironed this place opened, then I've ironed the pleats too. So I'll go ahead and run a stitch on that part. So this place will be where I'll fix my zip. Then after running a stitch, I will lose the down parts. We sewed the 1 inch zip allowance to the skirt length. So after running a stitch on the pleat, then I will lose. This is it. I've run a stitch on the pleats. This is, as you can see, I've run a stitch and I've removed the pin, but I've not removed the pin for the down part. So I'll remove the pin now. I'll remove the pin. This is it. I've removed the pin. So after removing the pin, then you can see this is where I stitched. Remember I said from my waistline to my knee line is 18 inches. So from that 18 inches, I just stitch it because that's where my pleat starts from. So I'll lose the stitch that I made when I joined the 1 inch zip allowance. So this is me losing it up. Then I'll lose it up to the place I stitch. You can see how our pleat is sitting prettily. Just look at it. Just look at it. This is the reason I said we should pin on the upper part and the lower part of the pleat, because that will enable the pleats to form perfectly down to the lower part. So make sure you are whenever you are pinning your pleats, make sure you pin to the down part. So I'll lose where I'm going to fix my zip. I will lose it up too because I'm going to fix a zip to this skirt. So I'll lose it up. I'll lose it up. So this is me losing. So I'm done losing it up. So the next thing to do now is I'm actually measuring the length of the zip that I'm going to use. So after this, I'm going to place my front part on the back part. Then I'm going to join it with the 2 inches. I added 2 inches allowance to it. On a normal day, I always use 1 inch allowance, but I noticed that I've reduced in size. I used to be size 8 before, but now I'm size 6. So the reason for using 2 inches is that whenever I get my size back, I'll be able to lose it back to size 8. Now you get why I use size plus 2 when I was calculating. But do whatever you think is best for you. Maybe you use 1 inch as your sewing allowance or 2 inches as your sewing allowance. Just make sure you add 0.25 or 0.5 so that you'll be able to use it to turn the lining and it won't affect your allowance. You get what I'm saying? So now I've joined the front and the back. So I'm going to measure the front piece. I have 12.5, the front waist rather, sorry. This is me measuring the front waist, 12.5. I'll measure on the right side though. So this is me measuring the back part too. We have 7 on both parts. So I'll go ahead and use that calculation, that measurement to cut my band. This is the front band. You know, we measured 12.5. So I'll be using 13 inches. Sorry, my hand was blocking that. I'll be using 13 inches. That's additional 0.5 inch. So for the back too, we add 7 inch on the skirt and I measured 7.5 for the band. So now we have another work to do for the band. We can't just join it like that. You fold the front piece like this. You can see how I'm doing it. Let me redo it. Fold it like this, then refold again. You can see. Then make sure the edge are touching each other. Then you fold the actually checking the right part and the front, the wrong part and the front and the right part. No, I'm working with Ankara fabric. So I'll place the back part on the front part like this, like I'm doing. Just follow the procedure in the video whenever you want to cut and sew your back vent skirts or back plate. I don't know how you call it. Then you get it right, trust me. So this is it. I'm placing the second back band. This is it. So as you can see, this I'm placing it like this. So this is me after I've placed it on each other. So I'll show you now. This is the back. You can see the front band unfold and the back band. So this is where all the band are not folded. So this is where you are going to cut. You are going to do what I want to do now. So on the upper part of your band, the folded parts of your band, you go in by 0.25, then you slant it down. You can see how I'm doing you. Then you slant it down, 0.25, then you slant it down. The reason why I am doing this, I will tell you as the video, as we continue this. So going by 0.25 and slant it, you can see how I'm slanting it. Don't cut the down part though. From the upper part, going by 0.25 and slant, you can see how the shape is. Let me open it for you to see. This is the front band. You can see the shape it gives me after going in by 0.25. So I'll place the back band on it like this, then I'll join by 0.25. Remember we added 0.5 on each the front part, 0.5, that would be on each side, that would be 0.25, and for the back too we added 0.5, but I'll use 0.25 too because I'll be closing the zip part. So after joining, this is me after joining it, then I notched the middle part. So this is it after joining. This is the front band and those are the back band. This is the zip side. You can see the zip side on the skirt, and I close the zip side on the band too because I want a very neat finishing. So this is it. This is me turning it out. So I'll go ahead and iron it. You can see the shape it gives. I'll go ahead and iron it now. So I'll pipe it in like this. You can see how I'm piping. I'll pipe it in with 0.5 depending on whatever you added to your band. You know, I said my band is 2 inches, then I got 2.5 inches. So I'll fold it in with 0.5 like this, then I'll iron it. So if this is the first time of coming across my video, kindly subscribe to my channel, like my videos, comment and share. You can see that will be the up parts, because we have two waists too for the like the hip. You know, we have upper hip and lower hip. For the waist too, we have upper waist and lower waist. So let me show you. Your navel area is your upper waist. You can see my navel, and your pubic area where you place your pants, I don't know, is the place I'm touching in the video, is your lower waist. So let me show you now. This is my upper waist. Let me show you how it will look. You can see that my upper waist is very small. You can see that it accommodates the band very well, and it even have excess for the zip. And this is my lower waist. Let me push the excess of the clothes I'm wearing to the front so that you see very well. So you can see my upper waist, it has excess for the zip, which is the 1 inch zip allowance, and we are good to go. But you can see the lower waist, the band is not even sufficient. It's not okay for the lower waist, and that's because I'm not placing the skirt on my lower waist. I'll be placing the skirt on my upper waist. So that was why I said we should always go in by 0.25 to shape out our band. So this is it after I've ironed the band. Then I'll place the skirt in between the band like this. I'll place the skirt in between the band. So let me go ahead and pin it down. Then I'll show you how it will look like after sewing. So this is it. I've pinned the band to the skirt. You can see how the finishing look is. So make sure the side line of your band is aligning with the side line of your skirt. You can see the wrong part of the skirt, how neat it is. You can see how it is after I placed the skirt in between the band. Then you are going to sew round like this. Then after sewing, this is my zip allowance. I've already ironed the 1 inch zip allowance for me. Then I'll fix the zip. Then the pleats, look at it, is already sitting well. See you next time for another video tutorial. Bye.